Woo! Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live for Spookytoberfest Day 25, I think. Right abouts. Yeah, Day 25. This is a special live stream. This is for one of my Extra Life donors, namely Jeff Yantha, who donated a really generous donation as part of my Extra Life campaign, and I really appreciate it, Jeff. And I noticed something on one of the comments that you left on one of my live streams, one of my recent live streams, and that comment was you wanted to see kind of how this color blocking process works, or at least how my process works. And I explained that, I hardly ever do that on video because it's kind of a boring process. And it's kind of noisy because I'm going to use an airbrush for this. But you wanted to see it anyway. And so, hey, it's the least I could do. You have been really generous and supportive all throughout the Extra Life campaign. And I'm going to wish you good luck on winning this set because we're just going to paint it. And so my plan is I'm going to show you the color blocking stuff, and then on a later night, I'll probably go back through and actually paint in the details that are required. Okay, so first off, thanks to Jeff. Thanks to everybody who has donated thus far to my Extra Life campaign. I really appreciate it, guys. And if you haven't donated yet and you want a chance to win some of this cool stuff, and it's not just Forgotten King, we're talking night models, we're talking even stuff for like Saga. There's all kinds of stuff in this raffle. So I highly recommend donating. And even if you don't want anything, man, this is a great cause. It goes directly towards sick kids and their families. And in my case, I'm playing for Children's Hospital of Orange County. So this is a great charity to be part of. Again, this is Extra Life 2015. And I'm painting this Super Dungeon Explorer Forgotten King set as part of my raffle prizes. Okay, so let's get to it. Here we go. I'm going to show you what we will be looking tonight. So tonight we have these like duckbill men. There are 8 that come in the Forgotten King set. There are actually 4 different sculpts, but here they are. They're basically wielding halberds. And you've got 4 of these Frog Knights, which are fantastic models. I think they're just beautiful. And then 2 of these Executioner Bunnymen. Okay, so I did not show a couple of things that I did, and this is because I did this right as I cracked open the set, is I did my base prime, okay? And so I actually did 2 layers of base prime. I primed the whole thing black with Duplicolor Sandable Primer, black, and then I went back and hit it with a gray primer. I think this is Armory Gray, I forget, but that was the first step, okay? So I'm doing a Zenithal prime, and with that many models that come in Forgotten King, I think it's well over, it's like 60 models or something like that. I thought I'm going to do a mass Zenithal prime, but I'm only going to take it up the first 2 steps. Okay, there's still one more step of the Zenithal prime I wanted to do. Hey, what's up, Tori? Thanks for joining the show. Yes, this is an unexpected live feed, but I'm going to do it for one of my fantastic Extra Life sponsors. Okay, so yeah, Zenithal prime. We're going to do the last bit of that Zenithal prime, and that's actually to go up to a white. Okay, so I'm going to break out some of the paints I'm going to need here for my airbrush, and I'm going to go with Minotaur Snow White. You could also use Vallejo Game Air or Model Air. There's a white in each range, but tonight we're going to go Snow White, and I'm only going to pick specific spots to hit the model, and then from there we're going to do the color blocking. So yes, tonight this is going to be an airbrushing session. That's part of the reason why I don't typically air these, because the compressor gets annoying, and it does end up being a little bit monotonous after a while. But hey, we're only doing what's this, 12, 14 models tonight, so it's not too bad. not like the plants. I did the plants the other night, the plants and the treasure and all that stuff, and that's a lot of miniatures there. So let's put my gloves on. Of particular note is going to be where I hit these miniatures here on their axe blades. This guy here has got a little bit of a bendy situation. Now I could go through and fix that, but and I have a little bit, but it has kind of rebounded a little bit back. It should be okay though. Should be all right. Okay, these are going to be game pieces. So again, the other thing I need to say about this technique is this is not like I wouldn't consider this to be a high quality technique, but this is a way to get things painted very quickly with a reasonably nice appearance to them. You know, again, you're not going to win any painting contests doing this stuff, but this is these are the kinds of things that production painters use, kind of techniques. This is my airbrush, using a really cheap, Masters airbrush. I use the basic one all the time. And we're just going to take this white and we're going to start to apply just the top layer of the Zenithal highlight. Okay, so I'm going to do one of these little guys first. And I'm just picking very specific spots on the model to hit. And I'll show you the model here in a second. We'll go over this. But it's basically, this white is really just the lighting. That's all it is. Okay, so if you look at his axe there, you can see drop the white along the blade and just another little splotch there to show you where the light is actually landing on the miniature. Okay, so that's it. That's all I was going to do for the white. I'll show you on this guy again. Build up a little of that white right there. There we go. See that? Edge of the blade, tip of the halberd there. And then I'm just going to do a general because it looks like this model didn't get hit by a lot of the gray. So I can do that. There we go. See that? There's 2 down. So I'm going to do this for a little bit. If you guys have any questions or comments, let us know what you're working on. This is about as easy. Now you can do this with the spray can. It's a little bit harder. I wouldn't be doing this stage with the spray can. That's why I'm not. You really want to pick specific spots where you want your lighting in. So just bear that in mind. And then the other thing to point out is these duckbill men they have a lot of steel. So I'm going to be using this as non-metallic metal, taking advantage of what the airbrush gives me in terms of lighting there. 4 in, keep going. See, I'm getting like mostly the front to top of the bill. Then you can see the edging coming in on the blade. See how quick that is? It just... So in some cases, like the blade, there's not going to be a lot of painting left to do on the halberd blades, because it's just a matter of now taking that dusty airbrush look away and making it look a little smoother. Okay, so it's really not a whole lot. You can see how fast this is going. Do you wish, like, now this is something like Geraldes does this type of work too when he's airbrushing. He'll go in much finer than I am, though. I'm doing pretty broad shots here. Okay, and this guy here has hardly any gray. He ended up with not much gray. That's not necessarily a bad thing for steel, because like on non-metallics, you want that highlight to jump from basically black to white and everything in between, so it's not a bad thing. All right, so there's that. Let's get these frog knights. Okay, so lighting on the frog knights, obviously the tops again. Top of the model. We're gonna do, see that little light streak there in the middle of the, and I'm gonna hit top of the shoulder. There we go. See, these are going so fast. But you can already kind of see where the, like, we're getting like lighting effects happen on these models now. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do is just get lighting effects down on the models. The ends of the little spurs on these frog knights. I love the frog knights, like some of my favorite models in the Forgotten King set. Just a hilarious, awesome frogs on chocobo. Gotta love it, right? All right. There we go. If you guys have any questions, again, please let me know in the comments. Troy, if you want, you can invite our friends over at the Google Plus group, the War Boss Tay group, see if anyone's awake at this hour. Maybe a couple of folks from Australia. Who knows? There we go. So even like down here, I didn't, you can see I didn't really get much primer down there, but I need to get some paint sticking on there, so I just shoot a little bit on there, just a little bit. Okay, so here we go with, I'm gonna show you his blade, and again, I can come in real close and just hit that edge, just like that. Now, what do you do if you don't have an airbrush and you want to do stuff like this? Well, you could do glazing. You could do dry brushing. Glazing is a much cleaner technique to do this. But there you go. See that? It's a little bit of light there. A little bit of light right there. And get the ears. Whoa. And get a little liquid blow back on these. As you can see where I'm putting the lighting there. Here, I'll show you the back of the blade again. So just basically you just build that white where you would normally be putting your highlights. See, look, here's it on the cloak. It's all the raised areas of the cloak. I'm almost out of, oh. I gotta reload my white. All right, so one sec. Didn't realize I was running out of white. So let me do that. Once again, welcome to Play It Painted Live. This is a bonus live stream for one of my Extra Life supporters. Again, really, really grateful for all you guys that have stepped up and helped out some needy families and some sick kids. Very special place in my heart. Obviously, I'm a new dad, so this is a big deal for me, to be able to use my hobby to do just a little bit of good. Just a little bit of good. You can argue about the impact or whatever on any kind of scale you want, but you know what? At the end of the day, it's better than just doing nothing, right? And I'm happy to help out. And I know that there are bigger gaming clubs and bigger groups and all that stuff that raise lots and lots of money, but every little bit helps. So, if you're running an Extra Life campaign or you're considering, getting involved in this or any other type of charity, don't worry about your individual numbers and how much you contribute. Just the fact that you stepped up to the plate and you're gonna give it your best and you're going in with the right intentions. I think you've already done something. You've already done something for families and kids and for other people. So I know that was really preachy, but hey, get over it. Under the ears there. Yeah, this model had not really seen much of the prime, has he? Seen most of the black prime, but not much of this white prime. There we go. See that? So we've got a little bit of light now on that blade. Let's hit the other bunny. Again, starting here at the background. I'm just building up that white. See that? Building up that white there on the blade. And your transitions are nice. Yes, airbrushing is cheating in some ways. I understand that. But, if you know how to use the tool and you know how to apply the tool, it's not really cheating. You're just painting it a different way. I will tell you this though, I do appreciate the skill involved in the folks that can do this without doing an airbrush. But I don't have that skill, so we're going to be painting this way. All right. So this is really like, for the color blocking stuff, this is really the most important part of the process, is doing this. Okay. Figuring out where to put your lighting, and then physically coming in and hitting your highlight. And don't be afraid to build up your white a little bit. You need to anyways. You don't want your white to spit, so be careful about that. White can sometimes be a difficult color to airbrush with because it's high in pigment. Sometimes you get this like powdery type thing. I'm just going to build up a little more white on this blade so you can see what I'm doing. So again, this is all about that gradient. Get that gradient right, and you're pretty well in there. See that? Okay, and then I'm going to show you how, because we're really not going to be painting these blades much. I'm going to show you how you can just get them to look a little less dusty, a little more solid. I'll explain that in a minute. These are cool miniatures. These executioners are awesome. All right. Okay. Oops, sorry. You've lost me. All right. Let me clean out my airbrush, and then I'm going to show you what that got us. Okay, so that was just a real quick little, the last part of the Zenithal Prime. This is actually the most important part of the Zenithal Prime, especially if you are doing any kind of non-metallic effect. All right, and again, this is a type of thing that's like part of the like Geraldez uses a very similar method. Obviously, he's much better at it. He's light years better at it than I am, and also he uses better equipment, and he can therefore better equipment, more skill. The more important part, skill. He can actually make this look a lot better. So I just got to get the white out of the airbrush. Now, the time I'm spending cleaning this white out is another part of the little, I'll explain how this plays into the next portion of our application here, okay? You just have to get it all out. You can't have dried chunks of paint floating around in your airbrush well, because that's just gonna go right, that'll nestle up on your needle, it'll clog your nozzle, and you're in for a bad day. All right, or a bad night in our case. All right. So once again, if you don't have an airbrush when you're doing this, you can still do it with some cans of spray paint. You can do this Zenithal Prime with spray paint, and then the rest of the painting, you're just going to have to go at it the old-fashioned way, with the brush. And I used to do it that way. I did it that way for a number of years. It's the same type of mentality here. In general, I start when I'm painting sets like this, I start with the least interesting model, usually like the all the rank and file stuff, the monsters. I'll do all that stuff first, then I'll move over to characters, and I always go in order of least favorite stuff to most favorite stuff. So these are actually the second tier. The plant stuff was my least. I considered that to be the least interesting of the stuff, and so we're going to take it from there. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Zenithal Prime. So you can see it's just a little bit of white caught in some areas, but really nothing groundbreaking. Just a couple of points of light. You can see it the best on the executioner, so you can see where that white hits there. Okay, and it does look a little powdery, right? Because when you airbrush, it does look a little flat. We're going to have to fix that. We can't. I mean, it looks okay. It looks like there's light being thrown around on the miniatures, but it's not quite good enough. It's not quite what we want. So we're going to go through and fix that. All right. Let me get a sip of my drink here. All right. So now let's talk about the next phase, which is we're going to start the color blocking. Okay. So color blocking with airbrush, it follows similar rules to what you would do when you are when you're just brush painting. In other words, you want to start on the inside, the innermost bits of the model, basically flesh and all those bits, and then work your way out. But there's another wrinkle with airbrush. Okay, so the other wrinkle with airbrush is you generally want to start with your lighter colors first, and then move up to the darker colors. Okay, so in the case of this bunny here, he's going to be kind of a little bit of a beige color, and then I guess we'll do the cloaks in. I guess we'll do them blue. Yeah, let's do blue cloaks on blue cloaks and blue robes there, and then I'll come back and do these. These are going to be blue and green. So the chocobos will be they'll be blue and a little bit of green on the outside, and then I'm going to just keep that pattern, blue and green on the duckbill men, mostly blue, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so here's the part that's a little bit different than what most people are doing. All right, so instead of using airbrush paints, and when I want to block a lot of a specific color and it's a standard color, I will use inks. Okay, so use inks for this kind of stuff, and it's for a couple of reasons. One, inks are super thin. They're going to go through the brush, really, the airbrush super fine, and they're fairly potent. So even at a very light concentration, you're going to drop a reasonably good amount of color. So if I go skin wash, that's a little bit like a reddish orange color. So that's a thought. I might be able to just do that as the base coat here. So I can do skin wash on these two guys, on just basically just the chests. The other option is I could go with like a yellow ink and see if I want to go yellow and kind of work my way out. I might even consider mixing these colors. That's not a bad thought too. I could mix the yellow and skin wash. That would give me kind of a golden beige color. That's kind of what I'm looking for. That would be a much better color than just all orange or all yellow. Those colors are a little too bright. So let's do that. In fact, okay. So I'm going to take some of this yellow ink. So yellow ink will form up the base. So I'm going to use drops of yellow ink, and it'll be interesting to see how these inks actually mix. I don't think I've ever mixed Vallejo inks with P3 inks. Okay, so there's we're going to mix those up. Let's see what we get here. It's almost, oh, there we go. That's a nice kind of a honey. That's a nice color. Okay. So you gotta think about that color as being like slightly transparent. All right. Hey, what's up, Jeff? All right. So I'm just gonna put that in my airbrush, and I hope that's enough. That was like a 3-to-1 mix, yellow ink to skin wash. And I'm gonna test it out. There we go. That's not bad. All right. And so now we're gonna block out the bunnies here. So their skin color, I'm going to do that kind of a honey blonde color, and then I'm actually going to go back and highlight it up. See, the other thing I like about inks is I can actually target low spots like that, like underneath the pecs and all that stuff, as shadow, and it looks great. You see how it's working with the Zenithal highlighting? It actually, because the ink is just translucent enough, it's catching the shadows and those bits too. And so, I mean, that's looking pretty cool. That's right. I mean, it looks like it looks like I've done some shading and some highlighting on it, and I really haven't. It's just that ink going on over it. See, there we go. All right. Hey, Jeff. So let me know if you have specific questions, but yeah, this is the Zenithal highlight. And obviously you can go back and watch the beginning. I know you're hopping in here towards the middle of it. But we started with the Zenithal highlight. Now we're applying the color blocking. Okay. Oops. Totally forgot. I need to block the face. That would help, right? I'm liking this like honey blonde color. I might have to do the Chocobos' color. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm excited, man. This is awesome. It's a great little color. Because I can fade these out to all kinds of stuff. I'm excited. I like it a lot. Again, if I want shadow, all I do is I just build it into the lower spots of the model and you're getting shadow. So Octave, you primarily use ink for color blocking. If I'm doing mask painting like this and the color scheme is just right, yes. Like this is kind of fortuitous because I am staying within the ink lines. As you know, there's not a wide range of inks out there. There's maybe a dozen colors you can get in inks. So for this stage, to be able to do it with inks is pretty awesome. You know, if I had to go with a weirder color scheme, this would be much harder. Because then, like, one of the major advantages to inks is you don't have to, your change outs aren't nearly as bad. I'll explain that in a second. But I gotta paint the Chocobo here. It's awesome. Man, I'm loving that. Looking good, just popped in. What's the PSI roughly? Right now it is actually at right about 20, but when I pull the trigger, it's dropping below that, so we'll call it 20 to 16. And this is the 0.3 millimeter tip. I know I can go with a smaller tip for finer detail, but again, we're just working on color blocking tonight, so we're doing all right. All right. Might as well get this part. The other thing I really like about inks is I can come in super tight and my blowback doesn't force a lot of clogging or anything. It just comes out nice and smooth. All right, so there we Couple of notes about inks too. They will dry a bit tacky because they're going to take a little bit longer to dry, but you know, again, this is just for the blocking part. So when you come back and hit it with your paints, it really shouldn't be a big deal. Hope you guys had a good weekend. My weekend was pretty good. Didn't do a whole lot, just hung out with the family. We went to Oktoberfest today. We call it Oktoberfest if me and my son both go, because I'm vain. He's not vain. Well, he might be. Who knows? But yeah, that was fun. We went to Oktoberfest today. And then yesterday I was actually teaching a friend of mine Forgotten King, because he was considering backing the Kickstarter, and he's like, hey, you know, I know you. I'm like, Forgotten King, you understand, I've been showing people this game for the past year or more, and I know this game like the back of my hand, so I got to play some Forgotten King yesterday. That was fun. I hadn't played in a while because, you know, you guys know I'm playing a bunch of different games at the moment. A lot of Frostgrave, a lot of Batman, but we're still playing like Relic Knights, Eldorado. So that's just how it goes with our group. We just play a lot of different games. Uh-oh. So I got a little bit of that ink there on that edge. That's not gonna, it's really not a big deal though. We're just color blocking, so it's okay. You don't want to screw up too bad, but that's not a big deal. Something like that. It's easy. I'm just about out of ink, so I'm gonna have to remake this mix just for the last one here. Maybe I can. I know I'm gonna run out. Yeah, I just ran out. How annoying. All right, let's do it. Okay, so this ink again, it's basically, what did I say, 3-to-1? So I think it was like 4-to-1. So I do 4 drops of P3 yellow ink and a drop of skin wash, or skin. Yeah, it's called skin wash game color, but it's really an ink. It's not so much a wash. Mix that in. Get that nice honey brown color. You know what? You might even be able to, I bet if I laid this heavy enough, I might even be able to get like a non-metallic gold out of that. It's a really nice color. I've been looking to do something like that color for a while. All right, here we go. So that goes back in the airbrush. So my idol Heraldez uses a pen cap to do this. I'm using a 40mm base. It's whatever. It doesn't. However you get the ink in the airbrush is however you get it. It's not a big deal. My wife and I were in a wedding, so it was a busy weekend. Got home today and started a game of SDE with the new stuff that finally came in. Nice. Will washes work the same as inks? The answer to that is no, they will not. Washes you can apply this way, but what washes will do, unfortunately, is if your PSI is too high, you're more likely to just kind of blow that wash around in a circle on the model. You can end up with a lot of like highs and lows. So if you're going to do, if you're going to use washes for this, and you can use washes for this, but if you're going to use washes, you're going to have to back it out or go really low PSI. And the other thing about washes to be wary of is the Vallejo washes and the Army Painter washes are That's the word I'm looking for. They're a little trickier to do this with. And I don't really have a good explanation of why that's so. I just know that like when I blow Vallejo washes through, they almost just kind of, they stall, and then they spit like, and that's not very good. So. All right. So yellow. I mean, I could come through and do the bills here. I guess I might as well, huh? When are we going back to Tuesday's CQ? Been allergic to cat sucks because I can't go to your house. Yeah, actually, Tori, we were at CQ last Tuesday, and although we ended up still coming back here to the house, it looked like the crowd's starting to clear up a bit. So I'm going to push to be back there on Tuesday. And I've been working on some hyper portable terrain to be able to do that. So looking forward to that. All right. So here, I'm just going to, just because I can, I'm going to knock out these little bills. See how tight you can be? I mean, this is with a 0.3 needle. Usually, if this were airbrush paint, you'd have to be in with the 0.2, and you'd have to be in like 11 psi, and you're messing around with your airbrush, and you gotta. And usually, you have to thin even an airbrush paint if you want it to get, if you want to get that tight. Minotaur has some that are thin enough to do it without thinning, but Vallejo Air, usually if you want to go in super tight like this, you're going to want to thin it. It depends on the color too, obviously. All right. That. Well, duckbill's out of the way. So yeah, Tori, try to get out to Tuesday because I'm gonna just try to make that happen. I'm gonna just try to, because I do miss gaming in the store. So and it's getting harder to game at home too because my son is like all up in our business now. He wants to game with us. So it's like, so he'll come down and, I'll be trying to play a game and rolling dice and stuff and hold my baby. I'm like, hold my kid for a sec. Let me roll this. Gotta roll this critical roll. But yeah. All right. I think we're about there. You get the point, right? Right. The other thing I'll point out is you can see how the Zenithal highlighting is really playing a role here in making sure that the color is accepting where you expect it to be. All right, let's let that dry for a minute. Okay. A wedding sounds fun. You're playing some SDE. I haven't thrown my pledge at the new Kickstarter yet, and let me explain why. I've got this like passive aggressive thing going on because I'm still bummed that my Gen Con stuff hasn't gotten here, but let's be honest. I love SDE. I love the chibi artwork. I love the theme. I love the game is fun. So let's be honest. I'm gonna back it. So don't worry, Soda Pop. Yeah, I'm a little sore with you right now over my Gen Con stuff, but dang it if I don't love your product. And I know I had a tremendously positive experience with Forgotten King Kickstarter, and I can't really overlook that. Yes, Soda Pop does stuff that I don't like. Let's be honest. And I'm a ninja, so take this for what it's worth. They do stuff that I don't like at times. They can be slow when I need them not to be slow at times. But they once they broke out on their own, they impressed me with that last Kickstarter. That was a good process, good delivery. So I'm happy about that. Man, it just pains me. That whole Gen Con thing just pains me. All right, let's put some green down. Okay, so let's go with green ink here. And I'm going to use the green. I'll use the green on the tassels of these guys, and I'll use it on the tabards there. I could shoot the frog's face green. I guess so. I guess I'll do that. So this is just straight P3 green ink. Take note that the green ink, the P3 green ink and the Vallejo green ink are two different colors. So just know that going in. I'm going to have to do this off camera because it's just going to be like a... It's really precise. See? It's really precise. I just have to pull them in and really quietly pull that trigger. That one wasn't that precise, but it still worked. All right. I'm actually surprised that people wanted to see this part of the process. It's not very exciting. It's a little repetitive. But I guess so. I mean, if you're trying to get the system, your own system to work, it makes sense. Like you'd want to see the whole thing. See, it's like cheating. Like, look, it's already highlighted, but it's not. I went all in with the Kickstarter the first day. I love the game too. It's financial sense to get everything all at once and minimize shipping and everything all at once. Yes, then you're overwhelmed with the amount of miniatures that you have to paint, but you get used, I don't know, I got used to just painting this style. I just got used to it. There we go. You might have a little bit of time in this session to do the washing too. So it's an important part of this process too, is doing the washes. Now, I am starting to get a little sloppy with this green. It's starting to end up places where I don't want it to be, but it's not too bad. Let's see. Yes, hence the airbrush purchase. Hey, what's up, Greenleaf? What's up, Adam? Let's see. When I spawn points, I haven't been inspired by a color scheme for them yet. Which spawning points? Is it the bramble or the overgrowth? There we go. I might have to take that the Frog Knight Chocobo and take those out to kind of a reddish color. Red, actually blue. I think blue's better. Blue will look cooler. All right, so here we go. And then I'm going to do just the tabard on these guys, this green color. does take a little practice to use inks through an airbrush. You just have to be a little more delicate. But I mean, you can see that it's actually, it responds really well to that Zenithal highlighting, the Zenithal prime. And you can, I just love how much control you have. Like you can totally put it, if I want to build into that shadow right there, you can totally put it there. And we're going to take advantage of that at some point. Like the ability to put shadow exactly where you want it. It's pretty awesome. All right, so here we go. Sorry. Okay. Still just always come back and hit a couple spots that I think needs a little bit more color to it. Now, one of the huge advantages to inks is your clean out time is so much faster with inks because you don't have any solids like jamming up your airbrush. Your cleanup time is super fast. Notice I'm not doing any taping or anything either. It's because this technique is based on the idea that you can correct stuff later. It's not that critical to hard block things. Okay, so I'm going to clear up my line. All I do is you just pull the trigger all the way back, and that ink is just going to shoot right out. It's just going to rocket right out of there. And just make sure there's nothing solid in the airbrush. I think we're okay. Pretty good. Okay. So now we're gonna go with blue ink. Where's my blue ink? Got this blue ink. So P3 blue ink here. What do you use to rinse clean between colors? I am currently using denatured alcohol. You can use airbrush cleaner. Airbrush cleaner is fantastic. If you're using, you can also use just ammonia. I used to use ammonia, but I could not. The smell kind of bothered me after a while, so I stopped using that. Denatured alcohol is nice because it's a fairly, it's not as bad, I guess, as ammonia is. All right, so let's hit the the bramble. Yeah, that's a tough one. Every time I see the bramble, I'm like, oh, I'm going to do something really creative with it. Like, I'm going to do like a glowing green poison ivy type thing, and then I don't. So there's that. Okay, so blue in there. There you go. Blue on that, dude. And paint his little platypus tail in too at some point. Okay. Right now we're just getting all the. This part is called the surcoat. We're getting all the tunics or surcoats. I think they're surcoats because they're worn. This is worn over the chest piece, so it is not a tunic. It is a surcoat, or it could be a gambeson. I don't think it's a gambeson though, because it doesn't look padded enough. So I'm just calling them surcoats. Yeah, the Billmen. These are super funny models. There we go. So the original SDE, the classic set, would take me 8 days, or 8 nights actually, worth of painting to finish. Roughly around 16 hours worth of work. I think these are faster for a couple of reasons. One, no assembly, because assembly on that classic set would be a nightmare. I used to have nightmares about it. And two, I don't know, they're just especially the plants are just so much easier to airbrush than kobolds and dragon things. All right, so now let's do this. So I'm gonna do the cloak in this blue color. Damn, I'm definitely not moving that fast. Are you trying to airbrush inks right now? Like here's a, like just to let you know, that's a shot with airbrush ink. See how fast? Like even if I actually just mildly pull down on the trigger, that's how much of it comes out. This is almost like, you're almost like fog coating the whole thing. And then you can build your color where you want it. This cloak is perfect actually to demonstrate that point. So right now it's just a fog coat. You can see how fine that's coming down. Now this, you could really just break out some regular airbrushes like Enchanted Blue or whatever and do that. But I mean, I don't know. Once you get used to doing this, it's cool to block out with this. It's making some really neat looking color transitions on the model. Back in that corner up here is kind of a problem. That kind of hard to reach area there, kind of a problem. It's okay. But see, you can see that the cloak already looks pretty well like highlighted. And then I can go in here, see that, and just hit right in the shadows. See that? Cool. It's like cheating, huh? No, I don't have any inks at the moment. I mostly have P3 paints and secret weapon washes. Ah, gotcha. Okay. You know, the funny thing is, like, I never see people buying inks at my LGS or whatever. I always buy the inks. I'm like, well, okay, well, what inks do they have this week? And I'll check and see. And like, P3 inks are my favorite inks to shoot through the airbrush. But Vallejo inks work very well too. And you can do GW like washes, and you can do secret weapon washes. It's similar, but just be careful because the secret weapon washes, I know, have a little bit of solid in them. So you just have to be aware of that. I'm almost out of blue ink. I'm really considering putting in some red on those Chocobo. What do you guys think? Should they be red? They're kind of a gold color. Should I transition them off to red or to blue? I'm thinking red because it looks kind of awesome. Oh wow, I missed that whole arm. See that? Missed that whole arm there. I have to go back and hit that. So that gets annoying. It's not that bad though. Ooh. Red. Silver, huh? Damn it, Adam. Silver. Oh, man. Can't take you anywhere. Jeez. All right. There we go. Oops. Now, if you are seeing that your inks are bouncing around a little bit, could mean that you didn't get enough primer in that area. What you could do is just kind of let it dry a bit, and then come back and hit it with another coat, another light coat, and you should be okay. Be careful handling the models that you've freshly hit with inks because it's very easy to wipe it off while it's wet. So be careful. Just be aware of that. All right. I'm gonna clean this out. It's actually almost done with the color blocking stuff. But I'm gonna do a couple more colors. Now, I guess I should ask you, I'm gonna paint in either tomorrow night or the night after. I'm gonna come in and paint in all the detail. I don't know that that's something, again, it's just line painting, so I don't know if anyone wants to watch that. But if you do, I guess let me know, and I'll try to make it happen. I'm still trying to make a deadline, obviously, for the event, so I can't make any promises there. But if you do, just let me know if you're interested. You want to see some of the detail going in or not. All right, I got to remix that color I just did, yellow and skin wash. Someone's bugging me. Let me check. I have no idea what that was. It just made a weird noise. But whatever. Whatever, right? Ah! All right. So let's load this in. Yeah, I missed like the whole arm on that executioner. How could I? I would certainly be interested, but I understand if you have to. Okay, so I guess what I'll do is, if it's a quiet enough evening, like, because I got to put my son to bed, it's a quiet enough evening and I can get away with it, I'll do it. Otherwise, I'll just have to catch you up with like one of my little 2-minute update videos. Man, this is such a nice color. Where's that Iron Man? I should hit him with this color. Nah. That Iron Man that I painted at the start of this whole thing, I just come back and hit him with a little more color every now and then because I'm like, oh, his color's not quite where I want it. So I'll just make another glaze and hit them again. All right, that's good. I think we're good there. All right, so now let's transition over to red. So we're going to use red ink. This might look terrible. If it looks terrible, well, whatever. Paint your sun silver and go live. Somebody give me a little something of whatever Adam is on. He's just high on life. That's what it is. He's just high on life. All right. Okay. So I'm going to try this red. I don't really... So it's kind of a... I'm going to have to build that to actually... Oh, that's cool. See that transition right there? That's kind of cool. Like fiery phoenix type thing. All right. So we're going to hit the tips of feathers. Oh, that's cool. You guys seeing that? Yeah, I like that a lot. That's cool. And you can keep building that color in. Like if you want it really intense red on the edges, you can do that, and it's a nice bright red. Okay. I like that quite a bit. Man, I should have just done that on my own set. Damn it, I'm keeping it. Just kidding. No, I can do that on my own set. Oh, wow, that turned out great. Did get a little yellow on the lance there. Again, you can fix that. It's not a big deal. Now, the other thing too is, like, for me, I consider most of the painting to occur on the characters of these sets. So if there are, like, there are a couple of error spots here and there on the monsters, it really doesn't bother me that much. It's important to get the characters right, though. To get the heroes right, I should say. So there we go. Nice. All right, let's keep doing. Really, like, I could have done... I used to joke that Fireflow Denizens from the Caverns of Roxor set, that it takes about 15 minutes from start to finish to paint that set. And people, I would still get people that would hire me to paint that set. And I'd be like, why are you paying me to do this? It's like 2 seconds worth of airbrush work. And they're like, no, I still want you to do it. So I still did it. But it's just so easy to do that with that type of transition. Yeah, these are really nice. I'm liking that a lot. Chocobo bar! Oops, I forgot to. There we go. You know what I've been doing lately is trying to get my terrain, my mobile terrain under control. Okay, so I'm a bit of a terrain, what's the word I'm looking for? I'm addicted to owning lots of terrain, but my main thing with terrain is I need it to be really, really portable and player friendly. So, so folding terrain is a big deal for me. Modular terrain, stuff that's lightweight, stuff I can throw in a box in a backpack and carry with me to the store, the convention, is a big deal. And this might make Adam cringe a little bit, but well, actually, probably not. But so, in addition to the cool stuff that like he makes and Andia laser cutting, Knights of Dice. Oh, who else pre-ordered from Viv? Who else ordered Knights of Dice stuff? I did. Stuff looks awesome. And I happen to be playing Batman right now, so of course I'm gonna get some stuff from Viv. But anyway, in addition to that stuff, I need like just portable stuff. I need stuff that I can have ready to pop out at any second and just get out a game when I need one. So what I've been looking at lately is stuff like cardboard terrain and paper terrain. And I recently picked up, for Batman and for Fistful of Kung Fu, I picked up the Capital City set from Fat Dragon Games. Let me tell you, I'm fairly impressed. Paper terrain usually terrifies me. I don't think it's going to hold my metal miniatures and all that stuff. Whoa, stuff. Okay, so there's a common blowout right there. See that? Too much. When that happens, just hold the air down and blow it out. Hold the air down, let it, and blow it out, let it dry, and then clean it up. Okay, so, but the main thing is like make sure there's nothing, you don't want to leave anything wet or dripping on there because it's not gonna dry correctly. You'll have a much bigger mess on your hands if you don't do anything about that. Okay. Man, they're cool looking though. There we go. All right, so there's that. Is there any other red that goes on these models? No, nowhere. That's it. That's it for the red. All right, so let's blow the red through. Let's see. I only deal with Skinny Dragon games. Fat Dragon games got too much cholesterol. All right. Here we go. So I'm going to do a couple more colors. And what time is it? Yeah, I'm going to do a couple more colors. And I think we're going to, because we're going to be at a decent stopping point. Where did my, man. All right, hold on. Just do a quick rinse through here. I'm just going to hit the platypus tails with a little bit of a brown. And then I'm going to Then I'm going to take a black ink and put some shadows back in. So I'm only blocked with ink. And then the key is to let this stuff really dry. So I'm not going to touch this again until tomorrow night. If that, I might actually paint something else tomorrow night. I have something fun planned for Halloween. After we do the whole, trick or treat and all that stuff with the kid, and it's late at night, I'm planning to do a late night stream for Halloween, and I have a really cool model picked out that I think you guys are gonna love. That I'm gonna paint for Halloween, and super fun. And I don't care if you love it or not, because I love it, and I'm gonna have fun. So there you go. See, all right. So I need another ink. So I'm going to use this brown ink for the tail. Let's see. Have you tried any of the flatland terrain from Advanced Deployment? Found it useful for Wormhordes. No, never tried that. Never tried that. I've seen stuff from Advanced Deployment, but truth be told, I don't play a whole lot of Wormhordes. That's like the game that I play once per year. Realize that I'm incredibly bad at. Decide that I don't want to spend the time learning how to be good at it. And and then put it back in my case. I have sold off most of my Wormhordes because I was painting it for fun. But yeah. So yeah, Fat Dragon Games Capital City. Now, Paper Terrain, they do have like other sets. Some of their sci-fi stuff just didn't quite grab my attention. Some of their Ravenfell stuff looked pretty good. I mean, if you're going to play a game like Frostgrave, and you need lots and lots of ruins and stuff like that, it's not a bad thought. So maybe we'll see. But I guess the bottom line is, yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Their Capital City set, and I've been putting together the buildings for that. And I made myself an emergency roadside terrain kit. Okay, so I have a terrain kit that goes in my car, and it's very, very portable. Like it's like the size of a tiny little folding bag. And in that bag, there's 16 buildings. So you get 16 buildings, Zuzzy mat, dice, a deck of cards, tape measures, dry erase markers. And so the thinking is, like, if I'm ever out somewhere and there's even the slightest hint of gaming, I can pack a half KR case full of miniatures, throw those in the car, and I already have terrain and stuff ready to go. That's the general idea. Let's see. They have some Arena Rec stuff as well. Sweet. I do love some Arena Recs. Cardboard, what are your... Wow. Trying to read your comments and spray at the same time. Let's see. Great idea on the portable kit. Thanks. Yeah, I'm the amount of shows and stuff I've worked in the past, like with all the miniature stuff, I'm like, I need to have terrain around all the time, because you never know. I mean, I have my regular cases of terrain that I'll bring with me, but I'm even trying to get a little bit more portable than that. And then all the nice pieces, the nice terrain, that stays here at my house, so that when we stream battle reports and all that stuff, we'll have the nice terrain out for that. But if it's just, if I'm just going to Comic Quest or whatever, I want to play a couple of games, I don't really need the best looking terrain. I just need terrain, really. I'm liking this brown too. I might let me use this brown a couple other places since I can. Let's paint the little bedroll here brown. Frognate's coming together quite well. Go. Okay. Do I want to do anything else with these guys right now? Probably not. I mean, I could do brown. No, I want the executioner masks to be black, actually. So I think that's okay. So that's it for brown. Shoot the brown through. Just a note on Vallejo inks. The brown is actually a lighter brown than their sepia ink. Kind of a weird thing, but just be aware of that. Your sepia ink obviously would have more red to it, but I noticed it's a darker brown. So, but yeah, I got to get some more Batman in. Batman has kind of been my most recent fever is for Batman. Hate building the models for Batman. I just got some issues with the builds. Love painting them, and the game is really fun, and I'm enjoying the game for what it is. So, if you guys are up for like playing something's a little more boutique, the pricing on the game isn't so hot. But if you really love Batman, you're gonna absolutely love the Batman game. So I'm just gonna throw that recommendation out there. All right, so now let us get some black ink. Should I do black ink or should I do? Yeah, let's do black ink. We're gonna do some black ink, and I'm just gonna hit a couple of spots with black ink to kind of reinforce shadow in places. Okay. This might be too black. That's pretty black. Pretty black, but let's try it anyway. Let's try it because you can't really, at this point, you can't really screw it up too bad. So I'm just gonna see, so put a little bit of black back in that. And I can even block out the mask. Woo! It's a little too black on the mask. I'll fix that later. It's not too bad though. All right, so there's that. And let's do the other guy. So you see, so I can feather out that transition there. And again, with non-metallics, the more drastic your transition is from black to white, the more like cartoony it ends up looking. And cartoony is a good look for Super Dungeon Explorer. There we go. And There you go. Okay. And so you could just do Gotham's a great show. I need to get myself to watch some of these shows. I just don't watch enough TV, frankly. Okay. There we go. Now we're starting to see these no time for TV with all the painting. Exactly. When I get home from work, I go straight to hanging out with my little kid, and then as soon as he goes to sleep, then it's so I get to paint for a little bit before I go to bed. I know, my life just sounds so exciting. I know you guys are like totally blown away with how cool my life must be. Oh yeah, he paints. He does daddy stuff and then he paints. I know. That was sarcasm, by the way. Yeah. I think you guys got that. All right. So more shadows. Woo! You see these like streaks here? Sometimes you just gotta blow through. Go. Finally. Whoa. All right. Looking pretty good. Okay. I got no painting projects planned. Woohoo! To me, I would be really sad because I like having lots of paint projects, but I'm crazy, so don't mind me. I'm just a little crazy that way. All right. I think we're okay. I think we're doing pretty well. Just doing, I'm actually using the black as a little bit of cleanup. But I'm also using it to give me that shade where I want it. Okay. So fair warning, I will be shutting off here somewhat soon. So if you guys have any like pressing questions or anything you absolutely had to know before I shut down, let me know. Hopefully it's something I can answer. It's not just some pressing question that you have that has nothing to do with painting SDE. All right, so here we go. And last one. Whoa. All right. looking pretty good. Ooh. Couple of hard blowouts there, but we're okay. Is Daddy and Mommy ready for Halloween then? Not yet. I still have to get the rest of my costume together. I know Mommy's been working on that really quite a bit this week, so she'll be ready. Whether or not I'll be ready, I don't know. We'll see. I hope. All right. So that's basically that, huh? Is there anything else that I need to do tonight? I don't think there's anything else I can do tonight, because you really got to let this stuff dry. That's like one of the key points, is let it dry. But let me clean up my airbrush, and then I'll break this out. Woo. But yeah, one of the big things about inks, man, that change out is so quick. You can go from color to color to color. It's really no big deal. So next up would be washing, dry brushing, and highlighting, and then painting in last second details. And then you just paint the bases in, and you are essentially done skis with this. Let me turn off the compressor. Should I shoot for this Tuesday for CQ then? I'm going to say yes. Yes, shoot for going Tuesday, because I'm going to, it's, we've been having fun here at the house, but I'm going to try to get, the group transitioning back to CQ. All right, so let me show you some close-up on this color blocking. So here's your basic duckbill man. Come on, focus. Beep. No, not so much. But anyways, you get the point. He's got that shade in. This all looks just kind of like flat right now. We're gonna fix this with a glaze and ink mix. You can do that, or if you're working for like volume stuff, go ahead and break out your P3 Armor Wash. This guy, Armor Wash, is fantastic for this, because Armor Wash has a little bit of a sheen to it, and that's what's missing from this non-metallic metal look. Is you need more shadow, and you need it to, and then you're going to need like some sharp lines in here. So what I normally do is I'll hit it with either my glaze ink mix, which is what I usually use, or, if it's a lot of miniatures, I may hit it with just Armor Wash. I did that on the squirrels. And then you come back and you'll do the final like line highlighting with white or light gray or glacial blue. There's a number of different ways you can do that. So here's the color blocking, basic color blocking on the Executioner. So you can see that it's got good light patching there. And he's got like most of his color down. Like he looks like almost ready to go. Some people would be like, oh yeah, I'm just going to put these on the table like this, because they do look, they look cool enough, right? But we're gonna spruce them up a bit and hit those details. And then these guys, I think, are really cool with that red-yellow transition. So that's the beginning. We're going to move through these pretty quick. And then after this, it's going to be pets and a couple of bosses, and then the characters. The characters are, again, really where most of the painting is going to occur. For this, with the idea that we're putting together a set that's going to be played, hopefully, that should see some play. The idea behind the spawn is just to get the larger visual effect going, and I think I have that here. Let's see. The only thing is, how do you deal with overspray? Do you usually mask? As you can see, I did the color blocking without masking anything. I try not to mask whenever, like, I do as much as I can not to mask, because masking gets messy for me. I've done masking before, and I've actually screwed up more of the project by trying to pull masking off than I have just doing this, which is, you just deal with a little bit of overspray and you come back and clean it up. Especially with inks like this that I'm laying on so thin. Like, here's a perfect example right here. See that green overspray there? Now, sometimes you get lucky and you're like, oh, that was a lighting effect. I'm super happy about that. In this case, no. In this case, I'm going to have to come back and actually correct that overspray. So I'm going to mix up a gray and paint in a little bit of gray there before I do the ink glaze mix. So I try not to mask. I know that really, if you're going to do a really high precision airbrush job, you should be masking. If you're going to get in there with a 0.2, a 0.17, and you're going to really highlight to a fine point, you're going to get in there with your Sotar or whatever and do that, then yeah, then you're going to want to mask. I just don't like masking. I think that the process is really difficult at times, and in some cases it causes more with my low experience, my low level of experience masking, I often cause more problems by masking than I do just dealing with overspray. So I'm glad you like the lighting effect. So yeah, I mean, look, if you look at this, here's the color blocking is cool, because like at this distance you're like, oh cool, painted SDE, ready to roll. There's not much left to be done here. They're all pretty rocked out, like ready to go. If I can get a larger group shot there. Oh man, I'm hungry. Like, I need a cookie or something. There's no snacks in here. I don't know what I was thinking. But yeah, that's the basics of the color blocking. That's how the whole process starts. Again, some of the key things. Your zenithal highlight is fairly important. You can, if you're not using an airbrush, just use 2 colors of spray paint. Use you're going to want to use, at least one of them needs to be black, and then you can go gray or white. If you go white, be careful about your fog coat, because it can look grainy. So be careful with using white. I usually go gray. So I go black spray paint, and then gray spray paint. And when you do the gray, like really just real quick bursts. And then you guys saw at the beginning of this video, I went back and did the white, which was the final part of the zenithal highlighting. And that white included doing this stuff here, like the fine points and all that stuff there. So you're going to want to do that. Then you saw the color blocking that I did with the ink. So at this point, what's going to happen is, on the non-metallic metal, I'm going to come back, wash the whole thing with a glaze ink mix. So I'll take black ink. See how jacked up my black ink is? Because I use a lot of this stuff. Black ink with glaze medium. And you want to go like 5 to 1, basically 5 drops of glaze, 1 drop of ink, and like 2 to 3 drops of water. That's going to go on over all of these like metal steel bits, and that takes a very long time to dry. So put that down, let it dry for quite a bit. I mean, let it dry for a day if you can. Now, the one thing that's cool about that is I will do that on all the metallic bits, and then just continue to paint the models. So I'll put those down probably tomorrow night, and then just continue to paint the models. I'll like, you can do some fine line highlighting here. You can paint, do all the eyes, do all that kind of stuff while that glaze is drying. And then it's up to you. I mean, from there, it's just however many details you want to apply. So, so yeah, that's it, man. That's going to be it for this section. I'm going to continue to paint these guys. If I can flip the camera on, I will. If not, I unfortunately am not going to be able to show you the next part. But it's basic. It's your basic painting stuff from here. So anyway, that's going to do it for this video. And so I don't know, should I make more paper buildings or not? I don't know. Oh man, no, I'm tired. I gotta go to work tomorrow. That's bull. That's garbage. I don't like going to work. It's terrible. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video. Want to thank everybody for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.